Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of Ask Leah. It is great to be with you today. My voice is still a little bit scratchy, so I hope it will hold up. I've got one question to answer tonight that came through last week, so I will be answering that tonight. So it'll be a shorter episode of Ask Leah unless some people jump on and ask some questions live tonight, which I'm more than happy to answer. You may be able to hear some Beyblade action in the background. For those of you who have young kids, particularly young boys, you'll know the joy of Beyblade sounds in the background, but hopefully we won't end up with kids in here as well and we can get through. Hi, Tracy and Penny. All right, so tonight's question came through from someone who has been doing a lot of work on themselves over the last few months. This is someone who really has known they needed to work on their communication and their personal development and self-awareness, and to their credit, has been working really hard to do that. And I say to their credit because the fact that they realize that they need to start with them and need to work on themselves puts them way ahead of a lot of other people straight away. There's a lot of people out there who, think it's all everyone else's problem. And, that they don't have anything that they need to work on. The reality is none of us get it right all the time. None of us are perfect. None of us get communication spot on every go. We all have things we can work on. So that's the starting point. Now, as I said, this person has been working really hard on their self-development over the last few months. And that's been great for them. They're still a work in progress, but they're making some real inroads. But here's the challenge that this person's finding. They've found that the more they work on themselves and improve their own communication, the more it's highlighting the poor communication of people around them. So this isn't someone blaming other people for everything being their fault. They're very aware that it starts with them and they need to work on themselves first. But as they're doing that, it's really highlighting, geez, a lot of people in my workplace are passive aggressive or aggressive communicators. A lot of people in my personal life are not communicating well as well. Now, this person contacted me. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Caitlin. And this person contacted me and they said, geez, it's really highlighting the poor communication of other people. How do I deal with that? How do I stay true to me? How do I rise above it, I suppose, to stay true to me when I'm working on improving my communication, but other people are really threatening to drag me down because it's so easy to get sucked into other people's poor communication or to get very frustrated when you feel like, you're the only one there fighting the good fight. So a few points. I want to start off with something that you've heard me say millions of times, but I do just need to say it again. You need to start off with controlling your controllables, and that is you. And I know it is bloody frustrating. I've certainly lived this as well, where you aren't seeing that in other people around you, and it is infuriating. But you need to always remember you can't control other people. You can only control you. So forget other people. In the first instance, we're not forgetting them entirely, but forget other people. Remember, it starts with you. And you need to be okay with how you communicate. Success is being able to walk away at the end and say, you know what? I did everything I could, regardless of how other people around you behaved. Number two, how do you, get other people to step up their communication when you are really working on yourself? The really annoying thing is you can't. You can't do it for them. You can't control other people. You can't make them improve their communication. But what you can do is model great communication yourself. And this is tough because you feel like it is a losing battle and that no one else is doing their part. But, excuse me for a sec. My voice is still very scratchy. Apologies for that. You can't control them, but you can model that great communication. And here's what you will find. When you model great communication, other people do pick up on it. Not as quickly as we would always like, But if you model being able to take feedback really well, for example, because this is something a lot of people struggle with. If someone gives you feedback, and maybe they do it quite aggressively, and if you don't do what they expect, if you don't bite, if you actually get really curious and say, okay, wow, I can see you're upset there. That wasn't my intention. Can you give me some examples so I can understand where you're coming from? When you model that and it's not what they expect, it takes them back a bit and they think, oh, okay, well, they didn't arc up when I threw that at them. So then it makes them look a bit sillier if they arc up when you give them some feedback. Again, it doesn't always work, but that modeling great behavior certainly helps. The last point to touch on with this issue is the importance of presenting the reason for them to improve their communication with a what's in it for them. We all want to know. We're all selfish, okay? Even those of us that really don't think that we are. And we think it is all about us and we look at things from our point of view. So it isn't, and anyone out there who's tried this, particularly with your partners, who's tried to say, you need to communicate better. It goes down like a lead balloon, doesn't it? And the other person, you get in an argument really quickly. Well, who says I need to communicate better? You need to stop doing this. Rah, 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 and we get out of hand very quickly. So what's in it for them? If you want them to communicate more, instead of it coming across like, oh, you're being a nag because you just want to know exactly what they're up to, you present it as what's in it for them. You know what? The reason I'd love you to communicate more with what you have planned actually isn't anything to do with me wanting to control what you're up to or wanting to have a say in that. It's actually so that I can accommodate what you want to do. That's certainly a conversation I've had in my personal life before. My husband loves being spontaneous, which is great, but the reality is we both work and we've got 3 little kids. So how do we have that conversation? I can say to him, you know what, I get it. I love spontaneity too. However, with 3 little kids, we can't be as spontaneous, but we can both make pretty much anything happen that we want to happen. If you want to do something, I can make that happen for you if I know about it in advance. So it's not about me trying to, be controlling and want to know everything that's going on. But if I know in advance, I can work my schedule to make that happen. Now, when he can see the benefit, he's more likely to go, right, I'm going to step up and communicate more here. In a workplace environment, a big issue that comes up a lot is, for example, someone who just leaves the office without telling anyone where they're going. And this often comes up as a point of conflict for people in workplaces. And again, if you're trying to tell someone that you really need to know where they're going, if you present that as a, look, I need to know where you're going when you leave the office. Well, of course, they're going to think, oh, you're just trying to keep tabs on me. But if you present it in a way that makes them see the benefit in telling you, you're going to have more success. So you might say to them, you know what, the reason it'd be great if I knew where you're off to is because then when people come in and ask me, I can give them a much better indication of when you're likely to get back or where you are, that you're busy. So then they don't hound you with 10 emails and 5 missed calls while you're out of the office. So, that would probably be beneficial for you as well. When people can see what's in it for them, they're much more likely to be on board. Hi to those who have just joined now. If anyone else has a question, please do shoot it through. The reason my voice is scratchy is I was on the road very early today down in Carrum Downs. I was actually presenting a workshop today all day to 80 people. So it was a big group. I did have a microphone, but I am only just getting my voice back. So it was a test. Today I worked with 80 people from Blair Logie. Shout out to any of those people who are watching tonight. Blair Logie Living and Learning, which is based down in sort of Carrum Downs way. And they're an amazing disability service provider. So today I was working with a lot of the disability support workers about how they can communicate more effectively with their colleagues, with each other, with their clients, with families, and to make it a better workplace. You know, do great work. They've got a great workplace, but how can we step up our game? Now, these are people that you could argue they are already pretty emotionally intelligent. They've already got great communication and empathy skills because they work in a service industry. But the great thing is they know that they can step up their game. They know that they can always improve. So it's great to see organisations like that investing in the soft skills, not just the hard technical ones. All right, folks, I am going to sign off. Have an amazing Anzac Day tomorrow, whatever you're doing and however you're commemorating the day. If you do have a question for next week, please do send it through. I love answering them, and I always do get a real mixed bag of questions to answer. If you haven't already read the book, please do jump online to leahmetha.com.au, buy a copy, let me know what you think. And if you have read the book, what I would love for you to do, it would be amazing if you are an Amazon customer, if you could go onto Amazon and leave me a review, or Goodreads and leave a review there. If I can get some of them up, that would make a huge difference. So thank you again for everyone's support. I hope this has been helpful for the person who asked the question. Thanks, everyone, and have a great night. I'm going to now go and rest this tired, croaky voice. Cheers, peeps.